Hello and welcome back to Always Off Brand. I am your co-host, Summer Jubileer, along with Scott Oshman.
Oh, good morning, Summer.
Good morning. I haven't been on for like a month. This feels
seriously,
great.
I'm sorry, and you are?
Are you part of this pod?
And big shout out our friend, our other teammate, Haley Brucker in the news. It's happy birthday. I mean, this will be after it, but happy birthday, Haley.
Happy birthday.
So she's doing birthday things. She tried to FaceTime both of us yesterday, but it just didn't work out. We sometimes randomly do these things. Summer's usually too busy because she's very important.
I was on calls when she texted. I did have a call this morning. So I did have things to do. And then by the time I thought about it, it was like really late her time.
Yeah. Do we say again? I'm instructed by the great Curb Your Enthusiasm Larry David bit of, do we say it's now, we're recording on the 9th of January. Do we say Happy New Year still, or is 100%. Is it voided?
No, you can say it all of January.
Really?
In my opinion.
I think it fades. I think it fades a little bit, personally.
I mean, it does, but you don't really see anybody until like January 7th anyways.
So other than medical facilities, how has your break been?
Same old here in the Jubileer household, but I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you do New Year's resolutions?
No.
Not at all?
Here's a couple things I don't do, which again, you do, you boo. I could care less. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I don't do dry January. I think it's ridiculous in my opinion. I don't do any of that crap because I know.
Wait, your list was 2 things. You made it sound like that's it. Just 2 things you don't do.
Well, yeah, but that's a big thing. Well, although that's one of my, like, no one drinks anymore. So that's January has kind of lost its love and feeling, which ironically, fun fact, kids, it was started by the Brits. Dry January was actually started not that long ago. And it was from the Brits, which I find hugely comical.
Hugely?
Yeah, because they drink like fish over there. That's all
they do.
They love a pub. Get me to a great pub. Anyway,
I'd love to go to a great pub.
So would I.
I don't set resolutions either. I waver back and forth on dry January, mainly because like it's easier to do it.
Yeah.
Because like people don't say, "Come on, drink," and you're like, "I'm doing dry January." They're like, "Oh, okay." And they like back off. I can't say I'm pregnant anymore, so.
That's true. I mean, you can say whatever you want.
True. Sorry, I'm actually taking this antibiotic for this nasty rash I got, so I can't mix that with alcohol. That's what I'll start saying.
Okay, so you're on the mend at the Jubileers. Let's get our guest is a returning guest, which is a huge deal for us. I mean, he wrote one of my favorite books ever. Let me start the music. I'll see if this works because I'm using new stuff. Can you guys hear it?
It's coming.
All right. Let me put him to the YouTube stage, ladies and gentlemen. We are on YouTube and Always Off Brand. Winner sells all. He's been a tech reporter, a business, an e-commerce reporter. He writes books. He's Fortune. He's this, he's that. He's got a new empire. He is now the sole proprietor, CEO, founder of The Isle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jason Del Rey.
Best introduction I've gotten ever.
Well, since the last time
I thought you were going to say in 2026 this year.
Ooh. It's a good one.
Those jokes you can still say.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go. There you
I
go.
almost wrote Happy New Year to someone this morning, and then I looked at the date and I said, can't be that guy.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I think we're in the like the 7th through the 20th that's trouble. That's dicey territory.
Okay. All right. You guys just don't have any joy in your hearts after the holidays, I see.
I just saw the Larry David clip where he says like after January, like after 3 days, kind of.
Happy New Year.
It's a little late, frankly, for the Happy New Year's, you know?
Why? Just happened a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that's too long. Statute of limitations is kind of run out on the New Year's. 3 days. Plenty.
3 days.
By the way, everything doesn't have to be happy. Why does everything have to be happy?
But I want to be
sure.
Better.
Take a crotchety old man's advice.
I mean, feeling like one more and more each day. So
Careful if you reach for that sweater.
Just so the listener and viewer knows, we went through every medical issue that Summer and Jason has before we hit record. So you're welcome.
My wife.
And your wife and my wife and everybody's medical things. It's so you're welcome. You're starting the pod of like, thank you for sparing all of us in our aging thing. So agentic. So tell us tell this aisle business you've got going. See, Larry David is literally an extreme version of my father. This is why he's so comfortable to me, and this is why, I mean, Seinfeld was literally like a family reunion. Like, it was just like my life. So this is why Larry David is I think he's funny, and I get a kick out of him. But tell us about the aisle.
Sure. So it's my new independent media company, and starting with a newsletter focused on reporting about basically AI's impact on retail and e-commerce right now. So how the AI apps are impacting how people research and start shopping, whether retailers and brands want to embrace these AI apps and start partnering with them to sell stuff, or whether just use AI tools on their own sites to have chatbots, apparently all with the names of dogs, Rufus and Sparky and Wally and Milo. And I think I
makes you
made
feel
half
warm
of
and
those
fuzzy.
really warm and fuzzy when I'm talking to a computer. And eventually I'll get into hosting some of my own events. I'm already in talks on different collaborations. If you can't tell, I occasionally like being on a stage. And so yeah, so the long-term hope is that become and develop the definitive source for smart, insightful, in-depth reporting on AI's impact on how we buy and sell things across the world. But I'm about 8 weeks in, and so that is the North Star, and I have a lot of work to do.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get into what some of the topics that you're going to be discussing in these articles that will come out if you sign up. One of the things that we wanted to chat with you a lot about today, Jason, was agentic shopping. And where do you see this going in 2026? Like, so much happened in 25. Where do you think adoption is? What do you think the next big thing is in agentic for shopping in this year? Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy January 9th.
Okay.
Sometime earlier this month, I was meeting with Shopify's leadership team talking about this, and they were kind of like, yeah, the AI companies, they're counting on us because they don't know a ton about this stuff. And this is, but even for us, like, we're working really hard on this. These are really tough problems. And so essentially give us some time, but we're optimistic we're going to figure this all out. So that was a long answer that basically comes down to, like, I think we will see the checkout, broadly out there. I'm still not convinced adoption of one item checkout on AI apps is a 2026 like popular thing to do, if it ever is on the consumer side. But I think maybe, the test will be next holiday season, right? I think if checkout's been out there on a bunch of these apps, with a lot of brands and mass merchants, and it's not adopted next holiday season by consumers, I think doesn't mean AI doesn't impact buying. We know it already does, but it may just not be the transaction layer that matters.
Yeah, I did my first little, season 6 little starter pack yesterday. And I'm not there yet on the U.S. adoption of it. We have numbers and reporting on a holiday that it led to, that it started the discovery.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much there's so much. I wrote about this a little bit, like some of that data, and I think it's directionally correct.
Yeah.
But some of the data out of, I won't name names, but some of the firms, AI powered, how that was defined was included even, if you like this product, you'll like this,
Yeah.
which is AI, but it's not sort of what folks in the industry right now are thinking of when they think of AI enabled or AI powered. And so if I were a business trying to sell AI software and tools, I might also lump a bunch of different activities into one bucket. And so we saw some of that in the holiday season. But again, I think directionally, like people are being influenced, like people are researching. And the question for me is, do they actually want to transact on these platforms? And in the end, I'm not sure. I guess it matters for the AI platforms because they need revenue because talk about expensive businesses.
Although I did just sign up to pay for ChatGPT.
Yeah, and I do too.
I couldn't believe I did that. Yeah, but you own a business.
No, but we did it this summer. We did it this summer because we were doing a big backyard renovation, like great thing to do right before you start a business.
Yes.
Go sell a bunch of stock and get rid of your money.
Yeah, year after remodeling our home, like brilliant Del Rey preparation. And we basically cut corners on who we hired by not having that person really be a designer. And so my wife had a lot of great ideas, but we wanted to sort of see those ideas. And we kept hitting limits on the free versions of image generation. And I would say it was a big help. And so thanks, Sam Altman.
There you go.
So back to, when you're thinking of 2026 with AI, you're thinking a lot about shopping and checkout. What are you seeing brands do? Because what we talk about AI and what it can do, and we go way up here. Yeah. When the foundation for most businesses still sucks. They don't have the right inventory. Yeah. They don't have the right information. So where are the companies that are building that infrastructure? Because like I look, Nordstrom, big Nordstrom shopper. I get retargeted all the time on Instagram. I'm like, lovely. I want that. I click on it. They don't have inventory. And I'm like, why the hell are you showing me this product still in 2026 when it's not in stock? And I'm like, why? They're all trying to get on top of this. They have these chat bots that are going to talk to you and help you find things. I'm like, I just need to know what your inventory is.
Garbage. Yes. It's still garbage. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you're not a big Nordstrom. You are platinum fantasy level. And so they should
hire me actually as a consultant.
They should never serve you anything that you can't buy instantly.
100%.
Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I think that's another reason why I think, listen, I wouldn't have started my own business if I don't think there's going to be massive disruption here. But the speed of it, I think, will run into has already started to, but in 2026 we'll run into the reality of what you're just describing, which is like, and I'm hosting a dinner. Well, I keep talking in the future, but it really will be the past. Sorry, everyone.
No, the NRF.
Yeah, I hosted a dinner with some former CEOs, former CEO of Moet Hennessy and former CEO of Neiman Marcus Group, and something they were both talking about was just the fact that need to be experimenting. You probably do want a conversational experience that's, if it's smart enough, on your site at some point in the future, but like none of that matters if you can't get the other stuff basics right. And I don't have a good answer on why in 2026, is that where we are? Nordstrom has that issue.
It's not just that. I mean, I feel like it's all apparel. It's all apparel stores. And I'm like, there's this big cost of distraction with AI. Everyone's so focused over here on what's new, and boards are wanting to know, what is your company doing now? And it's like, you have to have a strong base before you start adding all these things. It's just going to break.
Well, when I look at the press releases of which retailers or marketplaces are being announced as early adopters, like I either see two types of businesses. It's either true early adopters who are often ahead of the curve and like are being counted on to kind of lead the way, or desperation. And the like, I need that 3% stock pop.
Yes.
Because because I'm a first mover. And you can look at the early list of companies and probably, I don't need to spell out
determine them.
Yeah, but that's been interesting to watch. And I guess that kind of happens with any we don't have to get into bubble talk, but I'll just with any bubble, whether it pops or not, is you have the people who are looking for the stock pop. Although I'm trying to think back to the metaverse announcements, and actually, I think I do remember a Walmart metaverse and just walking around,
Well, the dawn of .com, this all happened. See, I've been saying it's not quite.
You were around back then, right?
I was there. I was at the floor. No, I don't think it's an AI bubble. I think it's more, I got to think of something different because this isn't good, but I think it's more of a AI blister. Like it's just, and this is my question to you, as you talk to CEOs and you talk to C-suites and board members of all the largest retailers in the world and the software, they, again, not, stock pop or whatever it is, I felt like there's just collective knee-jerk reaction to overreact. Salesforce, boom, 4,000 people. Because boards, I convinced, and being in boardrooms in the past, they all love this stuff because it reduces cost centers, which jacks profits, which makes the stock go the right way. Is this really what's happening? Because I can sit here and pontificate all that, but is it happening, Jason?
Well, on the cost reduction piece, I was just having a conversation recently with someone who they're on a board, and they said, one division was using some AI tool to cut staff from literally 300 to 30 people. But since the organization was very siloed and the CEO was kind of not in the loop, that person just kept those savings in their org and kind of redeployed them, but not necessarily in a way that the greater company thought was best. And so that's another piece of it, is like, who owns the strategy? Like just at NRF, I'm interviewing, different company. I'm interviewing the CIO. I'm interviewing the CTO. I'm interviewing the chief AI officer from different companies. Then you do have the companies where the CEO really wants to, oversee the strategy, which I don't think is a terrible thing, depending on the size of the organization. And so, not sure if I answered your question, but the board piece is absolutely true. The pressure is massive. And then, like, I think 2026, it's not a bubble bursting, but maybe that blister. I don't want to think about a blister bursting. That's gross, but
right.
But maybe that. But
I admit I need a better one. It just felt like it's like nagging. It's there. It's not there. It kind of reduces, but it's not as big and dramatic as a big bubble bursting.
Yeah, but listen, I think just back to you're talking about chatbot. Like everyone wants a chatbot. I will say, and maybe I am writing about this, so I'm, on the leading edge, but I was shopping for something on Home Depot the other day, and I had a very specific question about this product, and click on the manual and then go through the PDF. Like, that's not, like, I'm not doing that. So my choices were at that point, and I think this is going to be more and more common as people get used to are using ChatGPT for a lot of things, or Gemini. My choices were go to Amazon and see if I could find the answer more easily, or Rufus or Sparky or whatever his name is would tell me the answer, which is getting better at. Or what I did, which again is maybe sounds crazy, I took a screenshot, put it into ChatGPT, and was like, can you tell me if this light fixture allows for side wiring? I am not the electrician, but my best friend is. And I later learned Home Depot actually does have a chatbot, but it was just kind of buried, and it was not as easy for me to find. So,
and where's the attribution on that search? Where's the attribution on that?
You care about the real thing, the attribution. No, they're, so I've gotten us off track a little bit, but the other thing just I'm thinking a lot about. Recently, Amazon caused a bit of a controversy with their, call it, I guess, all internet shopping agent.
The buy for me, which I call buy for who?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and, I got an email from a CEO after I wrote about that who, I won't name names, but he runs like a mid-sized public company and pays attention to this stuff. And he was just like, if these agents are allowed to shop anywhere on the web on your behalf, like basically impacts everything. Like payments. I mean, we're talking about inventory. We talk about, legal risk. We talk about all the things. And so I'm still trying to wrap my mind around all the ramifications of that piece of where we may be heading. I'll take a breath now. You guys are the host, not me.
No.
I mean, the buy for me I thought was awesome because it did happen to us. And it's interesting because you try to have one of the things as a brand you are told over and over again is distribution control, right? You need to own your distribution. And Amazon said, big middle finger to that. Like we're gonna find the product and we're gonna make sure that it's available to our consumers. So that's what we saw with the buy for me. I don't know if everyone listening is familiar with it because Amazon was posting the ability to buy products for you on Amazon, but the products don't actually belong on Amazon. So they would go out and go buy it for you and ship it, or actually you shipped it. So it was a big hubbub, but I as a consumer loved it.
Huh.
That's because the brand. This is. We're gonna take a quick break, but we're gonna get into this because this leads into Amazon and Walmart. You know these two companies better than any. You've been reporting on these guys for 20 years. I don't know, but this leads in. Summer, you're right.
From not a consumer, that old, Scott.
10 years, 15 years. What are we at?
Almost 13.
Yeah. Okay. I'm so sorry. That's I projected my tenure on yours, and that's not cool.
Yes, long freaking time.
But you've gotten down with Dougie Mack. You got to hang out with him. Now you're gonna go see Johnny Boy. You're gonna go. These people. The S teams and all this stuff. I love that book. I gotta reread it again for the 17th time because I lived it. We're gonna take a very quick break.
Warm right now.
We're gonna take a very quick. I gotta buy a couple more. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Amazon, Walmart. What's this? Is this a new war? Does Jason have a new book brewing at the aisle? Coming up next.
Hey, this is Jason Nias, General Manager at Shopware, and you are listening to Always Off Brand.
All right, we're back. Jason Del Rey, the aisle. Everybody walk down it. Everybody buy a big fat subscription. Just belly up to the old laptop. Just hit send. Put that credit card in there, and Jason's got mouths to feed. He's got bills to pay.
I mean, you probably don't even have to put in the old credit card. We got Stripe integration. You could Apple Pay that shit. Can I say that?
Yeah.
You can say anything you want on here. Now that you're independent, you can swear. Do you have anybody you're afraid of now? I mean, no.
No, but I will say, one request, listeners, and there's one very nice company that is if you're going to pay, can you just don't ask me if you could do it manually somehow and send it to my bank account, ACH.
Venmo?
Actually, I think I enabled ACH so you can, but invoice you separately and
no.
What plan?
Yeah, that's no good. Let's not. Come on now. It's 2026. Okay, speaking of that, Amazon, Walmart, this agentic shopping. We got Sparky, we got Rufus, we got a whole litter of animals, and then you got Google trying to get in there, and then Shopify, as you've talked about. I think they're actually the silent winner in all of this because I think all of this shit.
I'm telling you, I saw Toby. I'm not going to try to pronounce his. Is it Luke? Someone
just stick with Toby. Everyone just says Toby.
Okay.
The CEO of Shopify.
Hey man,
I thought that was another chat name.
No.
Never seen someone look calmer than Toby, the CEO of Shopify. He's just, and he, I ask him a question and he's on like 3 different planes talking to me about philosophy, and he just seems like he's very into this, but seems like they're having a great time at Shopify.
They are. I predict they're going to have another boondoggle. But talk about Amazon and Walmart. You're in the rooms. You're in Bentonville. You understand what they do. Tell us what's happening on this new race of AI agentic.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Walmart, like the investments they're making are real. I think I thought it was interesting. I went to a press event with them and a couple months ago, and I was kind of asking in a diplomatic way whether the tools they were discussing were real or not, and I could have been a little more direct, and the executive was like, if you're asking if these are vaporware, they rolled out last week or whatever. I forget which. This was an internal AI powered tool. So Walmart, they were one of those who were very, announced that they were partnering with ChatGPT on checkout. And I know I said there was either the desperate companies or like the first movers. I would say Walmart is, I'm going to take back part of what I said. I don't think they're either of those necessarily. I do think they see an opportunity and know that Amazon's going to be very hesitant to partner with these third-party AI apps. And so there is a window where they might be able to, get attention for sure, but also, maybe become the default provider for, your everyday goods. Now, are people going to buy everyday goods like consumables through these platforms? I think it's much more discretionary, discovery-led stuff, but I think it makes sense for them to be out there. I don't know the terms of their deal. I mean, if anyone listening does this, part of what I'm trying to do is actually write about the deal, the deal side of these partnerships, which are very messy right now. And so that's the Walmart piece. My good friend Andy Jassy at Amazon, I'm saying that with a smile.
Well, I call him Andrew just to be cheeky.
Yeah, he's from New York, like I am. He's a New York Giants fan, like I am. That's where the similarities end. No, I lied. He likes buffalo wings. So do I. He said on one of the recent earnings calls that they would eventually partner with third party. I forget what term he used, agents or apps. Partner is an interesting word because, not many deals with Amazon could be, honestly labeled as a partnership. But I think the only way they partner with any of the AI apps if it's got to be a pretty one-sided deal and they're getting more out of it than the opposite. And I don't know what that would be right now. And so I think there some risk that they don't partner with these and adoption of checkout takes off and, ChatGPT is the new mass marketplace or on the rise. Sure. I think Amazon's still in a pretty good spot. I mean, if the sponsored ad hell that they've put upon their customer base over the last 5 to 10 years, can't hurt them. Their FTC Prime case, they can get out of with a couple of billy. It's just hard to see them, in a bad spot. I guess the only the last thing I'd say on them right now is it is interesting to see what does happen to their ad business if demand over the next 5 years does shift to some of the AI apps. I don't know. I still have just a hard time, like the convenience and trust in their brand and their selection. I mean, we all know this. Like, it's hard to see a real dent in that.
Yeah.
Well, it's what Summer was talking about with the whole catalog thing, and Scott Wingo's trying to refi buys, trying to, solve this. They have the fundamentals. I mean, they have all the fundamentals. So you layer in the tech to it and you have the fundamentals. And again, Walmart has great fundamentals as well. I mean, on a retail basis, right? They've come a long, long way since you even wrote the book on, on tech, and because they hired a bunch of former Amazonians and they're putting that in play. The big thing is, when is everybody going to start selling advertising? And then a lot of the prediction shows, which again, I love that stuff, is would Amazon actually, since they've opened up their publishing to Netflix and Disney or whatever, why not? That's the quote partnership, which I love in your book, and you understand, and me dealing with Amazon for 20 years. Let's just be clear. There's no partnerships. Okay. If you got something cool and really good, I'm going to want to use it for a while until I can figure out how to do it myself, i.e. chips, i.e. whatever.
Yeah.
So, where do you think that's going as far as the advertising and AI and how that's going to impact, shopping?
That could be one area of quote unquote partnership for sure. I think, we have seen, maybe some of your listeners have seen this week, and we could get to Google a little bit.
Yeah, I want to get to Google.
They are, Google is very interesting because they've been on again, off again, on again with, are they going to be a marketplace or e-commerce, actually transaction layer since, I don't know, how old are you? 50 something?
I'm 56 years old.
Since you were born, Scotty.
No, I swear to God, the first time I went to Channel Advisor, their first one of the early conferences where they had big eBay and Jet and stuff. Scott Wingo sat up there. This is 2014, I want to say 15. I don't remember. He literally had an entire slide saying, "Is Google going to get into the shopping and become a quote shopping cart?"
So, one of my big questions right now is like, can they? Like, are they serious this time? Because what we have seen this week is that they are, through AI, trying to do checkout within, their own Google experiences now. And as part of that, one ad piece that are starting to offer, or at least talking about, is personalized deals at checkout for Google AI shoppers. And so again, Google to me is maybe the most interesting in this whole race right now, because Gemini is, there's all the hype that Gemini is starting to kick ChatGPT's ass. And then they are now making this sort of big play to, once again, for like the third or fourth time since I've been covering them, start actually be consumer transaction platform. And based on the history of them flip-flopping over all these years, like, and the conflict it creates with their ad business, I'm skeptical, but like maybe this time is different.
To me, AI and the shopping is all about the personalization, which I contend, and we've talked a lot on the show over the years, we've tried personalization, excuse me, but I don't think we've really nailed it. It sucks. Thank you. I appreciate your validation. You see me. And I think AI is what I'm most excited about, is actually finally solving that. I don't know, but Google is very interesting. And I think the biggest thing I've been talking about, Jason, is the AI overview. And because the real estate has shrunk because of the phones, they got to figure out how to make money there. Well,
that's the conflict. That's the conflict even I was talking about. I mean, related conflict over time between, like, we get paid to send people elsewhere.
Yeah.
Now we're not. So they have this one thing. Yeah. The deals function, but that seems like, that's going to be a fraction of, it is personal. They're saying it's going to be personalized. Like, offer this deal to this one person based on, I don't know, you tell me what type of background, but
yeah. Well, the customization.
So you're hopeful that the personalization, that my dreams of personalization, since good personalization, since I started writing all about this, are going to be fulfilled this year?
Not this year.
Okay.
I believe, and again, I tried to do this, and I'm not a writer, and so I'm working on my first article ever, because I believe at some point that we are finally going to emulate and get the best of both worlds, the physical and the e-commerce world, as far as price, try on from apparel and footwear. I think the both worlds, now we have the technology and the bandwidth, and the pipes are big enough where we're actually going to, on a screen, mostly on our phones, going to feel like we're walking into the store, but we're going to get all the great benefits of the review currency, of the price compensate, the price transparency. We're going to get all the great things we love about that, and the convenience and the fulfillment and what have you. It's just going to be more of a, not, tactile literally, but it's going to feel like you're in a store, because it's still shit in a box. Let's be honest. When you buy stuff online, it's a product in a white box mostly. It's not great.
I was thinking about the white box because I'm thinking cardboard boxes, but you're talking inside the box.
Yeah, I'm talking when we buy stuff, we're clicking around little boxes.
Oh, got it.
And it's not a great shopping when you walk into a store and you get that discovery, right? That visual moment where you get to see merchandising, collections. That's the heart of retail. Yep. And we haven't quite, perfected the sauce.
I'm still waiting for us to get to where Disney's wonderful movie WALL-E had everybody. We're just driving around, you see it, and it just like, boop, suddenly arrives. Boom. We're almost there, Scott.
I don't know. That's me. But you're talking to the people who actually have control over doing these, and you're reporting on companies who are working on this stuff. So you tell me, Jason Del Rey.
No, I think I'm trying to talk to and again, I'm less than 2 months in, but I'm trying to talk to as many companies as I can, building sort of what some might think is the unsexy infrastructure, but shout out Scotty Wingo. But I mean, he would probably say it's sexy, but but yeah, I mean, I don't have good answers for you today, but if I'm dedicating a whole publication to this transformation, it can't just be and shouldn't just be the consumer facing stuff, because that only works if all the stuff behind the scenes does. And so, we'll have to talk maybe in 6 months, and I'll give you a better take on who's actually helping make progress here. And, maybe it's the big giants like Google, or maybe it's probably not going to be Sammy Altman, but we'll see. We'll see who it is.
Speaking of the behind the screen, as they say, you are doing a lot of work on these companies. Yes, Scott Wingo, but you talking about the SEO, the AEO, the whatever you want to call it, the generative. Yeah. Summer talked about it, and there's the messy back end and B2B. I mean, we've had Jason Nyhouse on, and there's a lot of people doing some really smart work in B2B, and there's a lot of thought out there that B2B actually could be ahead of consumer, of direct to consumer and marketplaces on actualizing the benefits of AI technology, behind in the infrastructure. Tell us more about that.
I think that's, I would buy into that. The only caveat there is, because there's a gold rush I see on the B2B side, man, there are a lot of shady companies out there, right?
Oh, really?
Like, I mean, and I will just say I'm trying to do a lot of reporting on that, because part of the goal of, what I'm building is to become a trusted source that helps folks separate between the shady folks and, companies that they should count on or can count on. And that's not me. I'm never going to be like promoting, individual firms, but I think it's important to have reporting, when there's a lot of money at stake and businesses at stake, to have reporting on good and bad actors, for lack of a better term. And I'm not saying there are evil people plotting out there, but there are a lot of people promising things that are not reality and border on fraud. And so
Wow.
if you hear as you all live through this, I'm always interested in learning about the good and bad in the vendor space. But I think for sure there's definitely real money to be made there and real progress to help, customers with, but there's also just huge opportunity right now because so many organizations don't know what they don't know to be taken advantage of.
Well, that's what we need. It's more reporting, more great reporting, more objective reporting about the people and the stories and what's actually happening. And we all live in this, echo chamber, so to speak, in this ecosystem. So that's where I'm just like, mass adoption. Are we even, come on, man.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think, I do think we're, I don't know what the most recent numbers are, but up and down my life, in terms of demographics and socioeconomic, disparities, across family and friends, like people are relying on this stuff for everyday questions for sure. But the adoption piece, when it comes to, the transaction, the completing purchase piece, I think is, at least on the AI apps themselves, is way off. Again, I think Google is super interesting in how they're going to try to, pursue this path where they want to be more integrated for the consumer, but also make that ad money. And I think it's maybe the biggest question for me in sort of like consumer big tech right now is how they go about that.
All right, Jason Del Rey, The Isle. Well, you have different levels of subscription of getting the content, and we're in deep negotiations with our show budget to see what level we can sign up for, Jason. So that's TBD. A lot of budget talks right now, a lot of spreadsheets moving in and out. You understand?
But yes, there are different tiers. I'll just quickly run through them if that makes sense. So there is a free tier. I basically say you'll get every email I send out, but most of the time that email is going to be cut off right before the good stuff.
You tease.
Yeah. Then we have the best deal, which is a core subscription. It's $150 a year. You can also pay monthly. You'll pay a little more, $15 a month.
Go ahead. So $15. I've got spreadsheets. I've got dashboards built to the powers that be to see which one we can sign up for.
Yeah. And then there's two others. Which have been more popular than I anticipated.
Baby.
Which is, so one is, I don't even know what I call it. Insider. It's $550 a year, and that is basically everything in the core. Plus, you get to sort of cut the line on. You get advance notice on events, and then you also get an annual call with me off the record where we can discuss, literally whatever you want. I don't know. Do you need advice on how to break your 12-year-old boy's card collecting addiction? Like I can help with that, perhaps.
How to support your wife during perimenopause?
I will not be good at that, but I'm happy to talk about it.
Sounding board.
Yeah. How to hurt your arm and shoulder at age 43 without doing any exercise.
Now that's good shit right there. That's actually, what? I'm signing up for that one just because,
Show me.
Let's go.
And then we have the team subscription, which is $950 a year. Again, more popular than I had hoped. And that is, up to 5 subscribers. and you get that annual call. I forgot to mention the handwritten thank you notes from either me, or you can request my 9-year-old daughter, who is insisting on helping her dad. Insisting. She also told me I cannot tell her what to write in the notes.
Oh boy.
So surprise.
I almost want to sign up just for that, to be honest.
I mean, we'll talk about it. Maybe you could get a note anyway. So those are the tiers as of January 9th.
Well, let's be real. Okay. This is a fluid situation. There's tariffs. There's a lot of other economic uncertainty that these could go up. They could go down. You know what I'm saying? Let's be fair.
Yeah. I'm going to give myself 12 months and we'll see.
Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We didn't do the game show. We're not going to do a lot of this stuff because you're too important. This is too interesting. Plus, Haley's not here, honestly.
Sorry, y'all.
We'll put the links. Go in there. Follow. If you're not following this guy on the linky on LinkedIn, please do it now. Push go.
Readtheaisle.com.
Readtheaisle.com and just hit go. Just don't walk, run, and just hit go. Thank you so much, Jason, for coming back. Summer and I will be back for a very, very tidy wrap up right after this.
Hi, I'm Rachel Tippergraph, the founder and CEO of MicMac, and you are listening to Always Off Brand.
The wonderful, talented, smart, kind, funny Jason Del Rey back in the studios at AOB. Just love having him and his insight.
Yeah, because not only I'm a fanboy. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I've been since his days of Recode with Kara Swisher interviewing Jeff Bezos and everybody else, and then writing the book. And we need more reporting, right? Because he gives us the insight, because he's talking to the boardrooms, he's talking to CEO, he's talking to all the decision makers, all the hoity-toities that us, the littles here, the little folk who we just sit around, like we're not exposed to all that. So when you read his work and the true reporting, because he's a journalist by trade, it's like, okay, wow, that's super interesting. It's actually real stuff. And I don't have to sit there and go, is this true? Is it not? You don't have to mucky around with that.
And we didn't talk about it on today's pod, but the book that he wrote, Winner Sells All, Amazon, Walmart, and the Battle for Our Wallets. Such a good book. If you are in e-commerce, if you at all touch Amazon or Walmart, read this book. It is so good. It's so fun to read. For me, because, Scott, we've been in this business for over a decade. It brought back so many memories, and to have the behind the scenes of what was happening. I'm like, are you kidding me? I remember this. And it's so good.
That's so sweet of you to say over a decade to me. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Honestly.
Because if we say the real number, everyone's going to stop listening now. But
I appreciate you.
I mean, you have to be a talented journalist to be able to write something so interesting when it comes to Walmart and Amazon.
Yeah.
The talent there, it's great. So
but if you want to understand how these companies are run and honestly, you can change CEOs and you can do all that stuff, but the true DNA of who these companies are and how they're run and how they think about things, that's what's just spot on. And it informs you about what positioning yourself or whatever you do and how you play the game. He's just awesome. It's so cool to have him back on. I'm sorry Haley couldn't join today.
Yeah, I'm excited. I did sign up for his free newsletter, so he'll tease me, and then I might have to, go spend 2 cups of coffee to subscribe fully. But he's got great insight. Really appreciative to have him on board. And Scott, this is all because of you.
Well, he was nice enough to, when I cold called him, he came. Well, when he wrote his book, a PR person got in contact, and I'm like, oh, he has no idea the faithful 48 are out there, but let's get Jason Del Rey on.
Well, it's all about the people, because why, Scott?
People matter.
That's right. And you're listening to Always Off Brand. Please please subscribe, please share. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye. If you haven't heard the new wrinkle, I'm calling it a wrinkle summer on the Always Off Brand podcast on our show, is the People Matter episode. And if you haven't checked it out, Martin Heubel, a industry leader, standard. I mean, he is the thought driver for Vendor Central and Amazon. He's working with the largest brands in the world. But who is he? What does he do when he's not writing brilliant stuff on LinkedIn and his newsletter and on his webinars and all this stuff? Who is this cat? If you want to know, and it's so great, Summer, because you get to know where he grew up, where he came from, what he does. It's awesome. And it just makes all the sense in the world why he's so brilliant and such a killer person.
Hey there, this is Haley from Quickfire, and they want me to read this so you know what this podcast is part of and how to find out more if you want. Always Off Brand is a production of Quickfire LLC and a part of the Learn and Laugh series on the Quickfire Podcast Network. For more information, go to quickfirenow.com. Have a good one, and thanks for listening.